That's right. The sparks were definitely flying last night. So who were the winners? Who were the losers? Let's ask our panel. Joining me now, Liz Peek, the FiscalTimes.com columnist, Cathy Taylor, GOP strategist, and Dave McIntosh, Club for Growth president. Dave, you know, Cathy, here's the thing I saw where Donald Trump would begin to answer questions, and then he went back to his talking points. Whatever it is, whoever helped him prepare for this, and I believe someone did this time around, they said, stick to the bullets, stick to him. He had 4 or 5 bullet points, stick to him, stick to him, stick to him. Ben Carson, on the other hand, tried to answer questions. In my opinion, I thought he did pretty good with the Medicare thing, and I think it's something we need to delve into more. If we're spending $12,000 per person, we probably could get a better deal. He he fumbled on a few other things. But for you, who were the winners and losers?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Experience trumped, no pun intended, a little bit last night, actually, over the outsiders in terms of substance, power. Being on the offensive without
power,
vitriol.
what does that mean?
Well, when you look at, you know, the way that I think about it is you have Rubio, who I would say was most valuable player. I think Cruz was team captain. And I would say Christie was most improved. And I think that sums it up. But all 3 of them did similar things. They were all tough. They had no vitriol. They had used humor. I think it was actually Rubio who got the most laughs of the evening. They were substantive, and they were able to talk about a variety of issues. And that's where Trump and Carson both fade a little bit every time. And Carson, I agree with you, it was good to go into the Medicare, but as a former physician, once a physician, always a physician, but as a former practicing physician, he should be able to unpack that policy of prescription for the American people in a clear, concise way. And I don't think he's there quite yet.
He definitely stumbled on that. There's no doubt about it. He admitted to some sort of a position that he took before that he was wrong, which I think is sort of laudable to a certain degree.
Yes.
Well, we actually saw the GOP sort of unite last night. It was sort of like, I'm Spartacus.
Right.
I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus, right? It felt like everyone united against the moderators.
Finally, right, we took the fight out of the ring, and they united. But what was also very interesting about them united is they finally realized they're running against Hillary Clinton, not each other.
Very few people
talked about that,
but I agree
Rubio
with you.
did a great job on that.
To your
Christie
point,
did a
guys,
great job on
it was
that.
the seasoned politicians who did that. I don't know, Cathy, you're a GOP strategist. Do you think this was good for them to prepare for the mean-spirited mainstream media, or was anything really accomplished for the voter?
I think they've all already far and away prepared and been dealing with the mainstream media. But it wasn't just the questions. I mean, this was supposed to be a debate about jobs and the economy and what's important to the American people. We have small businesses suffering immensely, people that want to work who can't get a job. Obamacare penalties about to hit the average American taxpayer very, very shortly come 2016. You know, we have some real problems, and this was supposed to be a debate about that. And there was not a single question about how to raise a job. So I think that it wasn't just the questioners being biased. Right. They weren't substantive. They undid some of their previous statements. I don't want to go so far as to say they
should they take this out on the RNC? Should the candidates go to the RNC and say, listen, guys, you've got to figure out a better system. Help us out with this thing because none of us are getting our message across? Well,
you know, I think when you have moderators asking questions that literally attack a candidate personally, calling you a comic book character or that you hate your job, that the president of a network should make a statement.
That's called basic respect.
You know, that's not good journalism. It is. So I do think that, well, it's not necessarily the RNC's fault that happened. There was no way. Who would have ever thought? This is really unprecedented that it could have happened. There was no way they could have known.
If you were on my Twitter timeline, everyone thought.
That's right. But you know what?
Here, let me get Liz in here. Let me bring Liz in here because, again, and I think we all agree, Cathy, that to grow the economy begins with the right tax policy.
It does. And let me say something about this. There are a couple of very important points about this. First of all, entitlements are 65% of the budget, basically, mandatory spending. So we can talk about deficits and we can talk about debt service, but what matters if you want to fix the tax problem is fixing entitlements. This is why Paul Ryan talks about this all the time. And so the other things don't matter as much. I'm not saying they don't need to be fixed, but you have to fix the entitlement part. These tax plans don't really address that. As far as who's a winner on the tax plan, I'm actually going to go with Rubio, and I'll tell you why. You know, Cruz and Bush, Cruz and Trump, they have great plans. I don't know how realistic they are, but the thing about Rubio's plan is everyone pays. And let's be clear, freedom is not free. I don't care if you pay a nickel.
I agree. Everyone should have skin in the game. All right, thank you all very much. Fantastic discussion. And, of course, guys, you do not want to miss Fox Business's very own Republican debate.